What's up everyone, Tim here from Everyday Tactical Vids. Today we're looking at another folding knife from Hogue. This is the Hogue EX-01 model. Your price point is going to start at around $135 and go up from there depending on which of the many different options you choose. So let me lay out some of those options. You have a drop point, you also have a tanto, you have a 3.5 inch, you also have a 4 inch, you have an option for the handle in G-Mascus, you also have an option in G10, and then you can also get it in an aluminum framed handle as well. So mine is the aluminum framed handle and mine has come in OD. Lots of different colors, lots of different styles. So dig around on their website, which is Hogue Inc, HOGUEINC.com, HogueInc.com. Let me talk through some of the specs on this one. We have a 3.5 inch blade here. Your overall length is 8 inches. Your closed length is 4.5 inches. And your weight is 4.6 ounces. Your locking mechanism is a push button lock. And I just want to note that it's going to lock the blade open. But when the blade is shut and you put the lock on or try to put it on, it doesn't make a difference. It's only going to lock it open, basically, is how it functions. The handle material is 6061 T6 anodized aluminum. Your pocket clip is a stainless steel spoon and it is reversible. This is the drop point. Your blade thickness is 0.15 inches and your blade material is 154 cm. And I've always liked 154 cm. My first blade in that style, or that steel I should say, was my Benchmade Griptilian. And I just found it to be a great steel, really easy to work with. And it keeps a nice edge for a long time, especially for an EDC blade. As far as your Rockwell hardness, it's between 57 and 59. The blade treatment, they know it's cryogenically treated and the blade finish is stone tumbled. So let's just take a quick look at the knife overall, just give you a couple different angles. I got my lights on here, so you're going to get a lot of shimmer off that nice clean blade with that satin finish. So there's your OD handle. Really cool texturing on that. Got some texturing jimping underneath. There's your pocket clip. It says Hogue Inc there. You can see you can put it tip down or tip up. Got some pretty deep grooves there for your hand when you're actually holding the knife like so. There's your locking mechanism. So again, when the blade is out, now that's locked in. So even if I push this button, the blade won't go down. Gotta slide that back, and now the blade can fold down. Slide that or flip that out. Lock that in. So I like the overall look of the handle, so that you get that aluminum in OD, and then you got, very clean lines and that silver for all your hardware. Let's look at the blade real quick. This is an Allen Elishewitz design, 154 cm. There's your thumb stud, some texture, some jimping on the top. I flip it over to this side. It says Hogue there, and then USA EX-01. And these are made in the USA, which is great. Just to show you opening the knife, flip it out, and lock it in. Okay, let's do a little cutting. Again, for me, this is going to be an EDC knife. I'm not going to use this out in the woods or for any other main application. So I do like how easy it is to open, and even with the push button, you can do this one-handed as far as your deployment and then also closing it up. So that's cool. Let's open that and lock it up. It's got a cardboard box here. Yeah, this 154 cm, and how they sharpen it, man, this thing just comes really sharp. Let's get that out of the way a little bit here. Kind of makes me sad to do this because this dulls the knife up, but just to test it out and show you how sharp it does come. And if you get the tanto, you're gonna have an even stronger blade, but this style of drop point it's just really sturdy. You can tell as soon as you pick it up, this is gonna be a really stout knife for everyday carry purposes. Now let me tell you one thing that I can that I've noticed in using the knife a little bit here. I like to see them round these edges just a little bit more. So if I had gloves on, I wouldn't notice it all, but if I was using this a lot for cutting and cutting, this is probably going to wear in my hand just a little bit. So the edges right here, you probably hear it a little bit. Yeah, it's more rounded down here than it is actually up here. So still comfortable, but I'd like to see them round the edges, particularly in that little groove right there. And right there on that side. Lots of jimping on the top, and I'm usually not a huge jimping fan, but this is, if there was like low, medium, and then high, I would put this in like mild, so in between medium and low. So it's gonna give you good control. And I imagine if you were carrying this around as like a duty knife for law enforcement or military, as your folding knife, and you had gloves on, no problem using this thing probably all day long. And it feels very solid in hand, and with that aluminum, it still feels quite lightweight. Okay, let's work on cutting some paracord here. And yeah, I mean, it's to some degree when you test an EDC knife, you're just saying, does it do the basic functions and is it comfortable in hand? You know, you gotta like the way it looks. It's gotta function in a very basic way, but if an EDC knife can't cut paracord, you got some pretty major issues right off the bat. Let's just double it up here. Once again, no issues. Triple it up, just for kicks. Actually, we'll do 4. That should be the last cut that this thing can handle. 4 with the EX-01. Yeah, I mean, I really actually pushed more than sliced with that one. So it's gonna do great with all those cutting tasks. Here's the Carnage from the EX-01. It's gonna cut cardboard, cut up in boxes, cut paracord, cut rope. And yeah, again, it's gonna function well. And I like the look of it, I like the feel of it. Definitely a strong, sturdy knife. I'll show you one other thing here real quick, is just the way they put the two halves of the handle together. Just some cool little, some holes there, some holes there. It's not a spacer. Down here on the bottom is a little loop that you can put lanyard through. So there's no hole there, but you can loop a lanyard. Looks like, yeah, they made that to loop a lanyard through. So, well. All right, so you can see I've put a lanyard on here, and I did it with bank line. That little slot in the back there it's quite small, so you could get some paracord through it, but you need to probably get out a needle and really work it through. So I just thought I'd mix it up. I had some OD bank line, so I rocked the OD bank line for the lanyard there. I made a video not too long ago talking about what I think of, or what I try to think through when I purchase an everyday carry knife. And so in relation to this knife, let me offer you some thoughts. I would put this in a large and also kind of a stout, I guess is the other word I would use, category. Got a bit of a thick and strong blade there, and it just has this sense of when you use it, like, yeah, you could definitely cut with this thing quite aggressively. So if you want a, you know, super lightweight, tiny little sleek, kind of like a gentleman's knife, I don't think this is the one for you. This is definitely a bigger, heftier knife. The Tonto is going to be a cool option. I prefer this drop point. I really like the overall look of the knife. I like the lines. I like the aluminum, keeps the weight down. The jimping is a major win for me. It gives you control, but it's not super aggressive. Again, I tend away from more aggressive jimping, or even jimping at all. But this, I think, definitely is a plus. 154 cm. I like the steel. It's not super expensive. It's definitely not going to cost you, you know, 30 bucks or 40 bucks. You're paying over, you know, $100 for this knife, but you're getting a knife that I really think is going to last you a very long time. Minor changes, as I mentioned before, I would have them round out the underside where the openings are, just round it out a little bit more, so it's a little bit more comfortable. But yeah, I mean, the major wins on this knife in a lot of different ways. I do like the fact that they send you the knife in this little pouch, so you know you can keep the knife clean and away from all kinds of grit and grime when it's not out there being used. You clean it up and then you can store it in this Hogue pouch, which is padded inside. Maybe a little bit more space in that bar that makes the lanyard hole, but again, not a huge issue for me. I just put this on for kicks. I'll probably take that off because I generally don't run a lanyard on my everyday carry knives. So this is my third Hogue knife that I've checked out. I've checked out one of their fixed blades and then 2 of their folders, and I've liked them all. They clearly are putting thought into their knives. They're made in the USA, and when I was at Blade Show, their new model, I think it's the EX-05, just sold out completely. So I contacted them after the show and was like, hey, you guys interested in having that reviewed? And they were like, yeah, eventually. We just don't have any now because we're totally sold out. So people definitely like their knives when they bought them, and they're going to be a, you know, I'm always hesitant to say higher end because people pay $10,000 for a knife, but they're not something you're going to pick up at Walmart or the local sporting goods store. You're definitely going to have to invest some money, but I think it's going to be a really good investment. I've been impressed so far, and yeah, I think this one is going to get rolled into my everyday carry quite a bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually wrap up this video, but I will put this one into my everyday carry system, and then in my next EDC pocket dump video, I'll talk about it and my overall thoughts on it. So the Hogue EX-01, again, lots of options for colors, a couple different options for your handle, for your style of blade, etc. So check it out, hogueinc.com. I put a link down below if you want to purchase this knife or other items from Hogue. I want to ask you guys to subscribe if you haven't done so already. I'm always looking for new people to join the Everyday Tactical Vids community. Coming up on 100,000 subscribers pretty soon, so we'll probably do some pretty big giveaways once we reach that point. But if you haven't subscribed already, go ahead and click that red button and be part of the Everyday Tactical Vids community. Thanks so much for all your support. Always use those Amazon links down in the description box if you want to continue to support Everyday Tactical Vids by purchasing some of your gear. We'll get a little benefit from that back from Amazon. So thanks for your support. Thanks for watching the videos, and as always, more videos coming soon. Take care.